Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In our previous tutorial so far, we can see that we had built the menu bar section along with the logo. In this tutorial, all we are going to do, we will be now seeing how to build up this head display section where we will be creating this learning is fun lying exactly at the middle of the div element. Stay tuned. So let's head back to the text editor, and this is the HTML with CSS.html page which is responsible for displaying of this individual page. And here all we are going to do, we will be now creating another div element. Now in this respect, I would like to say you that we had practically created this menu holder where this logo holder and this nav holder, that means this logo and this nav element or the menu bar element is appearing, and the display should be right beneath of this individual menu bar which is been created. Definitely all we need to do, we need to create another block level element or another div element right below this menu holder which is holding up this logo holder and this nav holder element. So we will be now creating another block level element right beneath this menu holder element that we had created earlier. So in that respect, first of all, let's comment it out and say the text holder part should appear here. And next, we will now create a block level element which will be using a class known as the text holder. And inside this, we shall now create an h1 element which should be written as learning is fun. So we are practically creating a text element inside this text holder. So we had created up to this part. Now let's head back to our project and reload, and we can see that learning is fun. This text is right now appearing right at the bottom of the menu holder that we created earlier. Okay, we have created up to this far. Press Ctrl S. Now we need to customize the text holder that we had created in this respect. So we need to head back to style.css, and here, first of all, let's observe the need that we are about to manifest right over here. So if we head back to the coded template part, we can see that this learning is fun is practically lying at the exact middle of the div element that we had created in this respect. So in an order to do so, the wise thing will be, we shall be positioning this div element in an absolute position. So all we need to do in this particular case, as we had wrapped our text element, there it goes, as we had wrapped our text element within a block level element. So first of all, let's customize this block level element and let's see what happens next. So we will be heading back to style.css, and here we will be creating the same class name right over here. And here, first of all, let's specify the position to absolute. We will be mentioning that from top it will be leaving a total of 50% space, and from left it will be 50%. There it goes. Now the point is, we have used a position absolute command right over here, but we haven't mentioned which one should be the parent div with the position of relative property. So if we leave it up to here and if we press Ctrl S and head back to our project and reload, we can see that so far it is okay. There's practically no problem in it. Now one absolute problem which is about to evolve out. Here we had already mentioned a position of absolute, but we haven't mentioned any position relative here for any kind of holding or parenting elements. So in that particular case, all we need to do, we need to define the position of the parent holder, which is image holder in this particular case. If we head back to the main HTML page, we can see that this parent holder here is the image holder, which is holding up this menu holder and this text holder inside. So this individual image holder, it should be considered as the parent element. So in that particular case, if we head back to the style.css here, we will be mentioning the position. It should be relative. Press Ctrl S. Now if we head back and reload, we can see that this is obviously going to be the result, because right now this text holder div element, it is practically aligning itself in an accordance to its parent holder of this image holder div element right over here. Now everything is fine. First of all, we will now customize the h1 element that we created regarding this respect here. So this is the h1 element here, and let's now customize it. So text holder h1, it should be having a text. First of all, we will be using the text transform uppercase. So all we wish to do, we wish to transform this whole text into its uppercase format. So we will be now using this text transform uppercase right over here. Next, we will be using some certain color, this RGB color. Sorry, RGB. So we are practically mentioning all the three channels right over here. In some certain cases, you may use this RGBA, which involves the fourth channel, in an order to evaluate the opacity level of an individual element. So in this particular case, we won't be doing anything with the alpha opacity level or the alpha opacity channel right over here. So we will be avoiding using it. RGB. Let's put the values here. So the values will be 255 for the red channel, 255 for the green channel, and 255 for the blue channel. That means we will be using a white color right over here. Next, the font size. So we are now adjusting the font size here, which is 5 rem. The font weight, let's put on some additional font weight here, which should be 600 or for say 700, anything will go. And we will be aligning it text align into the center. So this might be useful or this might not. So let's first of all put it and see if anything significant happens or not. Let's head back to our project and reload, and we can see that this is going to be the result. So learning is fun. Currently it is visible into our head display section, but it is not in the exact middle of the div element that we had created in this respect. Can we see it? It is practically leaning towards right. So we need to fix it, and in doing so, the next obvious thing that we are about to do is, let's head back to this text holder and let's use this transform translate property. Now here we need to mention the shifting of any element along its x-axis and along its y-axis. So in that particular case, first of all, we will be using this 50%, and next. So let's see what significant change comes here. Let's head back to our project and reload, and now we can see that the text is right now aligning itself in the exact middle of the div element. That means we have centered this text element into the exact middle of the div that we had created regarding this respect. So this is it up to this far. In the next tutorial, we will now concentrate ourselves into this responsive web layout. That means this display section at the body. Then we are about to create these individual cards that we had created in this respect. So hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.